And welcome to the Wolfden Wrestling Podcast, episode 4. We're going to get right into it. We have a lot to talk about, news and rumors wise. We're going to get right into it with our rumor roundup. First piece of rumor is TNA offers huge former World Heavyweight Champion to return a huge contract in TNA. Now that former wrestler is Magnus, aka Nick Aldis, which we all know is married and has a child with Mickie James. So I think it's very much possible that he could be going to TNA. I mean, it's not anything is not out of the box or anything like that. But at this point, I think it'd be better for him to go to WWE to kind of co-parent with Mickie. But, I mean, it's his decision. Him and Mickie would probably have to sit down and talk about that. But that is his decision on whether or not he decides to sign with TNA or not. Personally, I wouldn't mind to see him in either company. But who knows. Moving on, David Benoit joining the WWE. David Benoit is the son of Chris Benoit, who we all know the situation with Chris Benoit and what happened. But from what WWE and him are kind of in talks in a way, I think it's very much possible. I mean, it's been years since what happened with his father. I don't think that WWE should put any blame on him because of what his father did. I mean, it wasn't him, but I think it'd be great. I mean, even have some tribute to his dad, because let's talk about this. His dad's legacy is untouchable in a way. I mean, I understand what he did. Some people's eyes is wrong, but you can't take away what his did in the wrestling business. His legacy is always going to be there. Moving on, Kelly could be returning back to the WWE. Kelly was recently backstage at the WWE event, and she stated that she could be possibly returning. And I mean, nothing is in the works at this point, but who knows? With WrestleMania coming up, anything is possible. Eric Bischoff could be the one to be inducting Teddy Long in the WWE Hall of Fame. Eric Bischoff was actually praising Teddy Long for his career in WCW and working with him and etc. in interviews as of lately, and it could be possible that Eric Bischoff could be the one to induct Teddy Long into the WWE Hall of Fame, which in this case would be good for him in a way because, hey, can't beat it in a way. Rob Gronkowski could be working with WWE very soon. I'm thinking that this would probably be like a WrestleMania moment type thing. But it's not actual news yet, but I think it'd be great if he does. I mean, good for him. And the last piece of the rumor roundup is William Regal warns new TNA UK wrestler Pete Dunne. If you guys watch the UK tournament, you will understand why. Pete Dunne is kind of like a hothead in a way. So I can understand him warning him. But, I mean, he was signed to NXT at this point, so anything could happen. I think that it's going to be interesting to see where he goes in his NXT career. Moving on to our news. These are actual news situations that actually happened or will be happening. Number one, DDP in the WWE Hall of Fame. Diamond Dallas Page was confirmed to be in the WWE Hall of Fame, so, I mean, good for him. I think he's well-deserved, and I think that it is going to be great to see him finally get his recognition that he deserves to go into the WWE Hall of Fame. Number two, Finn Balor returning before WrestleMania. Finn Balor even stated that he should be back before WrestleMania, so this is very much true. I think that having him back before WrestleMania would make the WrestleMania card even better, in my personal opinion. But I think that it really all depends on who he comes back and who his opponent is going to be at the WrestleMania pay-per-view. Number three, as you all seen from the last Monday Night Raw, Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho, Jerry KO or whatever you want to call it, has officially broke up. Kevin Owens, during the friendship thingy that they had, attacked Chris Jericho. my personal opinion, I think Triple H might have something to do with that. Because if you remember, those two were talking backstage prior to the whole friendship ceremony type thing. So it could be possible that Triple H had stated something about Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens' relationship on screen, and he wanted it to stop. So maybe that's what it was about. But who knows? Um, I think that this is going to elevate both of them, or it could be just because there was a rumor back a little bit in a couple episodes ago that Chris Jericho could be leaving after WrestleMania. So that could be what it is about. That could be why they're breaking up in a way, but who knows? If that's the case, then we all know that Chris Jericho could be losing that United States Championship very shortly. Um, Number 4, 5, and 6 kind of go together because they all involve someone passing away, sadly. George the Animal Steel, Nick Colbass, and Ivan Koloff all passed away. They were WWE legends and or WWE personnel that had passed away. That I think is very sad. It's going to be sad to see how WWE responds to the passing of these three people that made and helped make the wrestling business what it is today. So it's quite sad to see them go. Number 7, Cassius Ohno returning to NXT soon. They actually had a promo on the last NXT that he is coming back, so it's going to be very shortly that he does come back. So I think it's great. I mean, I was a fan of him before. He left WWE and NXT before, so it's going to be great. Number 8, also in the last NXT showing, Tyler Bate had his first UK title defense against Trent Seven, which was a great match, and kudos to Tyler Bate for defending the title successfully. And I like Tyler Bate, and I hope his reign continues. Number 9, fans think that Bayley is not ready for the Women's Championship. That's news because of the fact that it was actually a lot of fans that I have seen even stated that they don't think that Bayley deserved to win the Women's Championship. I personally think she did, but you guys comment on this video. I want to be more interactive with you guys, so please comment anything that you guys want to comment, including how you guys feel about Bayley winning the Women's Championship. Number 10 in our final piece of news is Billie Kay from NXT has stated that she and Peyton Royce, her tag team partner on NXT, have not always got along. WWE has seemed to make it seem like those two are always getting along. Billie actually set the record straight by stating that no, that was not true. They have not always got along. We're actually going to start out a new thing here. WWE and TNA both kind of are two different brands. So WWE, including like NXT, Raw, and SmackDown, all will be combined together in TNA with their wrestlers. I'm gonna choose like the spotlight wrestler that I think made the most impact on that episode from the last week or whatever. So this one would be from last week. So like with the friendship and that from WWE week. So the WWE one that I chose is, believe it or not, Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens made a huge impact on the WWE with the whole friendship thing with Chris Jericho. That made me wonder what's going to happen. And for TNA, it has to be Davey Richards. Davey Richards, honestly, with the whole thing with the Wolf thing, is kind of great. It's a great rivalry so far, and it's going to be great to see how everything develops. So the spotlight wrestler for WWE right now, in my opinion, for this week is Kevin Owens. From last week, from last week it's Kevin Owens, and from last week it is Davey Richards. Tune in to next Tuesday's Wolfden Wrestling Podcast to see what this week will be. Also, again, feel free to comment anything about how you guys feel about Bayley's win for the WWE title or anything about this podcast at all. I want to be more interactive with you guys. Also, feel free to comment on how you guys felt about the guest that I had last week, Shauna Palm. Should I have more guests in the future? I think that you guys really enjoyed the guest coming in, but comment what you guys think about guests and future guests. Do you think that I should continue with the guest thing or not? Do you think that Bayley deserves the women's title or not? Have a great day and peace, and I'll see you guys all next Tuesday for another Wolfden Wrestling podcast. Peace.